Welcome to episode number 259 of eBay the Right Way. Today's date is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. My guest is Marla. Announcements. The 5-year anniversary of my podcast is coming up this month. I'm doing a special episode with audio snippets sent in by the listeners. You do not have to have been a previous guest. If you would like to participate and contribute, you can send me an audio text message or leave a voicemail. Just reach out to me and I will give you the details. You can tell an eBay story, explain something you learned listening to the podcast, or talk about a memorable sale. Feel free to contact me with any questions. You can email or reach out to me on Facebook. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, now let's visit with Marla.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back. Marla is with us today, and she has been active on the Facebook group with helping people understand the rules and policies and that kind of thing. I see your name pop up a lot. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm happy to be here and honored to be invited to be on your show.
Yeah, we got this done quick. I asked you, and you're like, I can do it in a couple of days. So yay on that. And where are you located?
In Tennessee,
Oh, where? What part?
East Tennessee.
Okay. So I lived in Chattanooga for 6 years. Well, it
Oh,
was
okay.
it was
Yeah.
more up towards Dayton.
Okay. Yep. I wasn't born in Tennessee, but at a very early age, I was living there in Knoxville my whole
Okay.
life until
Mhm.
I left to go to college and, become an adult. And I've lived in Atlanta, Chicago, Virginia, Illinois,
Oh,
Michigan,
all over.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Okay. So let's start with what brought you to eBay and when that happened.
So I started an account in 2002. I had one child at the time and just a lot of things. So I think the first thing I sold was an exerciser. We had more than one and we were moving, so we really didn't need all this stuff. And I didn't know how to sell it, but I had the original box. The original box is very big for me. I love to
Mhm.
keep the original box. I've kept the original box for things for more than 10 years because I knew I was going to sell it on
Yeah, and
eBay.
it's the perfect size. So if you
It
have
fits.
room, that's
Yeah. Like
great. Yeah.
I just sold
And it also shows that you take good care of things if you
yeah.
have that original box to put it back into.
Yeah. Like the Diego Express Railroad. I just sold that over the holidays and I have the original box. So,
Very
who
smart.
who has the original box from 2004? That's what I have to say about that.
People like us that are forward thinkers and like,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to sell this one day, so it'd be nice to have the perfect box to put it in.
Yeah, even like things that I found in my dad's attic, original box to like the Barbie townhouse, like all the, I mean, we just always kept the original box. So, anyways,
That's a good habit.
yeah, I didn't know how to sell, but a friend of mine that lived in Illinois did. And so we started talking about she would teach me how to sell on eBay. And then when we were moving, my ex-husband had some things he thought he could sell on eBay with the help of this friend. And so she listed it through her account. And we talk about this story a lot. She listed it and we watched the auction go and go and go. And there was one person bidding on it. And so it wasn't getting high enough to the level that he wanted to sell this. It was like a Budweiser stained glass lamp you would put over your pool table.
Mhm.
And so he bid on it himself. And boy, was my friend mad. She's like, "You cannot do that."
That is not eBay the right way.
And so luckily the other buyer bid on it again. And then the ex-husband bid on it again. And she's like, I am telling you, you really cannot do this. That guy's wife gave him a limit. He's not going to bid on it again. I mean,
Mhm.
this was our whole idea on it. And sure enough, my husband won his own light. She was mad and she did not talk to him for years.
Oh,
And she's still my best friend. Husband is gone. She's still my best friend.
okay. That
So, but
that works
she
out like that sometimes, doesn't it?
now, and so like, he was always very negative about my eBay selling, but it was a very positive thing for me because it gave me a little bit of independence and it was fun. It's a game and I love the connections that things can bring. And that's something I've commented on when people on your face page, a group will say, oh, I sold something and a buyer wrote me the sweetest note. And I'm like, yes, these connections are why I sell things. Somebody will has written to me and said, I so appreciated buying that Christmas Carols book from the 1970s that you sold because I had one as a child and I gave it to my child and then I got remarried and now I have a stepchild and I wanted them to have the same book. And I'm so glad I found yours because now both of my children have the book. I'm like, love it. Yeah.
Well, and I bought something the other day. I've got some neuropathy in my feet, and I use that big, I think it's called MediRub
Okay.
foot massager.
Oh, okay. I am
It,
not
it's a
familiar.
big, it's like a big square thing, and you put your feet on top of it, and it has different speeds, and it basically just vibrates.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it does help. But I had one that I bought from someone who was on the podcast in 2021.
Mm.
And I mean, I use it several times a day and
Oh,
it finally died. And so I found another one on clearance and it was like $18 plus 20 shipping. And these things retail for like $200.
oh,
And I just was like, thank you so much for offering this. You have no idea that this is a pain relieving thing for me, helps me get through the day. And I know it's big and bulky to ship. And I just was, I was so appreciative that she had it on clearance. And so
wow.
I got it at a good price. She shipped it the same day. It should be here tomorrow. But,
Oh, great.
I'm one of those buyers too that's like, oh, thank you so much for offering this. She didn't have to list it. She didn't have to do eBay at all.
Hmm.
But yeah, you appreciate when things are out there that you can actually get because I'm not paying retail for that for
Yeah.
$40 and not have to take
Done.
drugs and be able
Right.
to get through the day with this device is like, thank you. So I see both sides of it. Yeah, that's an important factor is the buyer's satisfaction and happiness with their item.
Hmm. Yeah, I ship everything the same day if I can. I'll go to the post office the same day and put it in the mail. And I use UPS and FedEx and all that too, but I'm lucky that those are not far away.
Mm-hmm.
I live in an area that has access to all that kind of stuff very readily available.
So back to your extra saucer, your first item. How did that go and what did you learn?
I learned you had to take it apart a little bit to fit it back in the box.
Right.
And it was, of course, a bigger item. And so I guess I learned about shipping at that point. At that point, I wasn't printing labels at home. That didn't come for probably another 5 years, believe it or
Mhm.
not. I was taking everything to the post office to pay the postage at the post office. But it was sort of
Well,
when
yeah, back in the day, that's what we did.
yeah.
And
I
we
mean, we
even
paid to
hand
put a
wrote the
picture on our
label.
listings.
Yeah, there was no printing of labels. You just
Yeah.
hand wrote the address and
Hmm.
took your
People could
stuff to the
mail you
post
a
office.
check.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was crazy. It was the
yeah.
Wild West.
I know. And it was just like figure it out. And then that's what newer people coming now just can't really compare because they weren't there at the beginning. But and then PayPal and then you can print a label
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you can have your mail picked up and just all the things that evolved and then all the app on the phone and being able to research and just how it's evolved. And now it's still confusing to new people because it is
Mhm.
new to them, but it's like, oh, well, let me tell you how it used to be. We've come a
Yeah,
long way, and I
it
don't
has come a long
complain about
way.
any eBay changes. because sometimes they change it back if people don't like it. Like, what was it they recently took off? Something about automatic pricing or something like that. They recently stopped doing that because it wasn't working or people didn't like it, whatever. But it just continues to evolve.
Yeah. I I mean, there's so many changes I really do appreciate. And then there's some that I don't even know about yet. Like I was listening to one of your shows and it was like, oh, you can schedule things and they don't charge you for it anymore. Like
Right.
I anything that they charge extra for, I don't do it. I don't do like the subtitle or
Yeah.
listed
Well,
in three
the
categories.
subtitle doesn't affect search. It's not, the search doesn't look at that. It's just
Okay.
if you have more to say, you can put it in subtitle. But I look at, will this help me in search? Is it worth paying for, kind of thing? And
Yeah.
no, subtitles not.
And I just let it go. I just let it ride. And some things I will have listed for hundreds of days. I don't have that much stuff listed. Maybe around 80 all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And things will relist or whatever. I try to end an auction without relisting it automatically. If
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't sell, then I look at it again and I think, okay, I'm going to change something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll change the pictures and the words, orders, and add a different word or whatever.
New words come out every day
Yeah.
for these aesthetics, or and it does make sense to spend the time to reevaluate your title, drop that picture into Google Lens, see what other people are calling it,
Yes.
because you gotta, it's like throwing spaghetti against the wall. You gotta see what's gonna stick. And if you just leave everything the same, and a lot of people end their listings and restart them, which eBay says that's not good for search. It confuses the search engine, but and they don't do anything to it. They don't make it
Right. Yeah.
different. And that's where you're gonna maybe get some traction is, okay, let me try this word. Oh, my horse ribbons. I did that recently. I've got still several hundred. I just get them all the time, but I thought, okay, Kentucky Derby. If people are going to make things or have parties, I'm putting that in the title. So I went out on Google and searched Kentucky Derby party decorations or tablescapes, or anything that people might search for to find things to decorate for their derby party. And maybe they never even thought about going on eBay and buying
Hmm.
old ribbons. Maybe they're just looking at what's on Amazon or Party City or whatever. And it's, oh, and so my listings will come up in that now. That's kind of an experiment to see. I've sold a couple of batches that have Derby Party in the title. So,
Hmm.
as you go along, you get ideas and you see what other people do, and then all these invented words. Like, I'd never call it that, like a shacket, a shirt and a jacket, but people
Oh,
are
yeah.
calling it
Okay.
that, so you got to know your keywords. So you're exactly right. Change something.
Leads into like this whole AI. If I see a listing where it's complete nonsense in the description because the AI has written it, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
never buy from that seller. Now, a
Yeah.
made up word,
You can tell.
yeah. It's like this is a lovely, fashionable people would like to have this appliance in their home. Or would they like it because it makes toast? I mean, I'm
Or
just like,
I was shopping. I like these athletic-y kind of tops that have the quarter zip, and they're
mm,
got to have pockets. I
yes.
love my pockets.
Okay.
So I found some on eBay, and I shop on eBay,
Hmm.
and it was an AI description. And I'm like, oh, you look stunning in this, lycra spandex purple top, blah, blah, blah.
Great.
And I message and I'm like, what are the measurements? They didn't
Hmm.
have the pictures of the ruler. They didn't have it I measure it and compare it to something I have that
Yeah.
fits perfectly. And I'm like, people just don't get it. I think they're just looking for a shortcut on their listing. They
Hmm.
don't want to have to write it, but AI is not the human brain at all.
Yeah. And the AI isn't shopping.
No,
The people are shopping, and the
right.
people know what they are looking for. I don't know. I don't sell things that are, I guess, something that you could buy in a store. Like I have a lot of things that are older. Like I just recently sold magazines from when I was in high school.
Oh, was it Tiger Beat
No, it was
with Sean Cassidy on the front?
no, it was like Elle magazines
Oh,
or
okay.
something. I can't
Fashion
remember.
stuff.
I had gone on an exchange program, and so I had some foreign, equivalent magazines, and so I sold some of those.
So the days of Christy Brinkley and Kathy
Yes,
Ireland and all those supermodels of the 80s.
all the supermodels are in them in the
Excellent.
ads.
Yeah.
And then I found some of the magazines I had cut up to make collages back in the day. And so then I was like, well, this is sad. I can't sell it. But then I went through and I cut out all of like the Guess ads that had Claudia Schiffer,
Oh, right.
because
Uh-huh.
this is when she was the model. And so I listed all those together. They haven't sold yet, but they do sell. Other people sell them. So I got to figure out what do I need to say to get them sold?
So
But
can I ask you what year you were born?
1970.
Okay. Okay. So you are Gen X.
Yeah, I don't even understand all that.
Baby boomers were like 45, right after the World War II ended, up
Okay.
until the early 60s. And then it starts
Okay.
with Gen X, the latchkey kids, and
Okay.
the last generation and not have all this technology. So
Technology.
you're
Yeah,
in that. So
definitely.
as
Yeah.
far as what happened when you were in high school, we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good stuff like that. And then the things that I've sold through the years are things that my kids were interested in. So I might buy it for my kids, and if they really liked it and I knew that I would look on eBay and see that they were selling, I would buy them. I had one time found a whole bunch of that Tickle Me Elmo. It wasn't the 1996 one, but it was after that. So it must have been the 10-year anniversary, 2006. That's about the time frame.
Okay. Okay.
And the economy was really bad in Michigan. So they were very common to find, but not all over the country. And so I bought them, I would sell them. They would sell two at a time. I mean, people would want two of them. And so I had a ton of them left. And right before Christmas, I was like, well, I'm not going to hold on to these. I'm going to take them back to the store because if they didn't sell, like I might have bought 20 all at
Oh.
once. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I'd maybe sold like 11 or 12 of them. So I had quite a few left. I wasn't going to sit on them. They weren't going to sell after Christmas. So I took them back to Walmart. And while I'm standing there with the products, the woman gets on and she goes, we have Tickle Me Elmos at the service desk. And then, like, I was swarmed. And I'm like,
Stampede.
could you have let me get out of here? Like, I couldn't leave. They were still doing my return transaction, couldn't leave. And here were all these people, like, jamming me up against the counter because they wanted the Tickle Me Elmo. Because at that point, 3 or 4 days before Christmas, they weren't in the store.
Right, right. And I think
So
that was the first retail arbitrage toy, the first time this happened. Now, did you just put this together? Oh, I should buy a bunch of those and sell them on eBay, or did you get the idea from somebody else doing it?
I probably got the idea because they were on eBay for sale for a
Okay,
high
okay,
price. And
right.
I thought,
So
oh, the
I just
economy's so
wonder who's
bad.
the person that maybe several people just figured it out at the same
Hmm.
time, but because that was not what eBay was about. It was collectibles,
Right.
and then all of a sudden we've got retail stuff on there, and every year since there's been the hot toy.
The hot toy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the retail stores caught up and limited how many you could buy and
Yeah.
limited how the return period
Hmm.
and all of that. And especially when Amazon came along,
Yeah.
people would do the buy the hot toy for your kid so they have it to open on Christmas Day because you can't find it locally. And then
Yes.
they would, after Christmas, go find it locally for cheaper and then return the original one to Amazon during their return period. So that's why we called it Returnuary, because
Oh, okay.
you may have made a sale, but I got out of the toy business, that the retail toy business at that
Hmm.
point, because I mean that was a business killer to have these things returned. And I did Juju pets. They were like little
Yep.
hamsters.
I had a
Um,
few of those. Yeah.
And then
Aqua
I
beads,
might, what was it?
the aqua beads. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. The art supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. So
The
I did that for like a couple of years, and then it
mhm,
got to be everything gets returned. And
mhm.
I just kind of got out of that business. But it is a great idea. And you were a pioneer in that, jumping on
Well,
that and
also
doing it.
around that time, one of the major party chains went out of business. It was either Party America or Party City or something. And my friend and I, that had kind of started eBay together with the beer light, she and I would, since we didn't live in the same area, she would go to her party store and say, "Oh, they have a ton of the plates for Blue's Clues." And I'm like, "Okay,
Hmm.
well, I need plates. Mine has party hats and napkins." And she's say, "Oh, I need napkins." So we would like buy whatever the other one needed to supplement. And we had these huge party sets. They had hundreds of items in them. A party set for, 38 people or whatever the increment was. I think everything
Uh-huh.
came in sets of 8 plates, 8 cups, that. So it was, you could have an 8, 16, 24. You could go on and on. And so we were both selling, like she would list a set, it would sell. I would list a set, it would sell. So we were never trying to compete with each other, having things listed at the same time. But then we had a party set of, I think it was like Barbie Fairytopia or Mermaidia or Rapunzel. That was the era.
Hmm.
And this guy, I don't think he's still selling anymore, but he tried to buy from both of us. And then once he got a sale, I think he bought mine and he made an offer to my friend. And then she and I are talking on the phone and she's like, "Yeah, I just got an offer from him." I go, and we're like, "Accept the offer because now he's going to have to buy both of ours." Well, then he
Uh-huh.
didn't. He canceled the sale for her. And like we have talked about this guy for years and make fun of him because he didn't know what he was doing. But
Well, you mentioned Blue's Clues, and I got to throw this out there for the listeners. This is in one of my books, but the handy dandy notebook,
yep,
for the listeners who don't know what that is, you can look it up. It's a little spiral top notebook,
yep.
like a notepad with a red chair on it, and I think it's because it was from the original time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 1999 handy dandy notebook, and even used.
Oh yeah.
I'm seeing them here selling for up to $250.
Yeah. I
Just
have the golden anniversary handy dandy notebook.
have you looked up what that's worth?
No, I'm not ready to sell it yet.
That's okay. That was your kids. Yeah. So some of the Blues Clues stuff is worth money, but it's got to
Yeah.
be the original when
Yep.
Steve was on there.
Yes, Steve.
And when I learned that, I could not believe it. I'm like, it's just a little notebook you write in. But
Oh, and people used to make extra pages for you to tear the old pages out and put the new pages in. And those pages were sold on eBay
oh, I
because
didn't
your
know
kids
that.
would ruin the cover of it being plastic and the
Mhm.
spiral being plastic, but the pages were like a coated page that you could draw
Okay.
on and rub it off. But they would also rip, and then you really couldn't get all the crayon off.
But
People used to sell replacement pages.
that's the kind of thing you might see mixed in a toy bin.
Yeah,
Just it got some kid's closet got cleaned out and it
yeah.
just they dumped everything in
That's
there.
a
But
huge, yeah.
that's that's eBay. It's just really
That
just
and the
this little
hat,
notebook.
Woody's hat from Toy Story, the Woody with the pull string doll, everybody loses the hat. So if you've
Oh,
got the hat or you see it at a yard sale, that's a huge seller too.
okay. Or buy the Woody and then sell the hat separately.
Or you might just find the hat because somebody's just got the hat. Like I bought one, there's a bookstore in town called McKay's. Do you know McKay's books? They're around
Oh,
now.
I used to take my kids all the
Yeah.
time. It's like 2 stories. It's
Yep.
huge. You can spend the whole day in there. Yep.
And they have a section now. It's just gotten crazy. It was used to be books back in the day, and now it's everything you can think of. But they have section where you can buy Happy Meal toys, all kinds of stuff people try to donate or sell at this McKay's. And so I was just with my kids, and this was pretty recently, like maybe within 5 years. And I was like, look, there's Woody's hat. And they're like, so? And so I looked it up, and it was like selling for $35 just this hat. The hat's about this big, right? So I bought it because everything in this bin was like 25 cents, and like it sold within days.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, just odd stuff that you don't think is going to sell.
So back to the used bookstore,
Yeah.
I figured out a way as a frugal slash poor mom. I was married at the time, but you cut corners and stuff. So one of the local libraries, I think it was the one in Dayton, Tennessee, they had, a cart with free books
Mm-hmm.
and free magazines. So I would go there while the kids were at preschool and get
Mm-hmm.
some free stuff, and then go up to the used bookstore in Chattanooga and, get store credit there
Yeah.
and trade it for books we could keep.
Mm-hmm.
When they're little, they have their favorites, and checking them out from the library, they might not be done. I didn't want to cause a tantrum. I'm not done with that choo choo train book, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I had this, I'm not going to call it a scam, but it was just being resourceful. my,
It was a
my husband at the
resource.
time was like, that sounds like a scam. And I'm like, why? I'm just taking something that's free from over here and taking it over here 20 miles away and getting store credit and getting books for the kids. And I get cookbooks and magazines
Yeah.
and all that. So, and that's kind of what we do now. It's like
Yeah.
we take
It's
stuff from
all a
one place.
recycle.
Yeah. And I wasn't stealing anything.
No, they
It
were
was, and they
freely
had,
giving it. Yeah.
DVDs. No, I don't think I had DVDs yet, but VHS tapes, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, I'm just getting some free stuff and turning it into other stuff.
One of the I mainly my kids have never wanted to sell on eBay, but they're always interested in what I am selling. And so one of
Mm-hmm.
the things when they were little, I bid on an auction, and this is one of a thing like people should learn from this. This is how you spell something. People make typos all the time in their title, and I'm like, ugh, you poor soul. But anyways, this person had listed hundreds of Pokemon MOM cards,
Okay.
and I bid on it. And I got it for 99 cents because nobody was searching for Pokemon cards. They were looking for
Uh-huh.
Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm.
So this huge shoebox came with all the Pokemon cards in it. And when my boys were little, they could, if they did something good or they did what I asked them to do, they could pick a card out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Or, depending on what it was, they might get two cards. Well, one of my boys went to Cub Scout camp in the second grade. And he was very much not going to play their reindeer games. And so when they all came home, they were at the scout leader's house. And he said, I just have to tell you, everyone got head lice at camp,
Oh
except for
no.
your child, because he wouldn't participate. And so he doesn't have head lice. And I was like, yes. So when we
Yay,
got
that paid
home,
off.
he
Right.
still remembers this. He got to pick 10 cards out of the Pokemon card box for not getting head lice at camp.
Well, good for him for declining the activity and
I
staying off to
guess. I
himself.
mean, I guess he was hard to get along with the whole week, but
That's life. Okay, so
So spell things, check your spelling. Search words are really always more. Oh, and this is another thing. One of my kids had food allergies. So in my listings, I would always say it's a pet-free, smoke-free, and peanut-free home.
mhm.
Because when I'm looking for something, even if it is not going to be something for the child, I just think that that tells you a little bit about what you're getting. And
Mhm.
I have gotten burned on buying things without first asking, is this from a smoke-free home?
Oh, I know.
Because that just bothers me to the point where I will not use it. If I can't clean it to the point that it gets the smell out, it's just a loss. It's a complete loss, whatever
Mhm.
I've bought.
Yeah, nobody
So,
wants to open a package, especially in the summer, and
yeah.
have that fragrance hit you in the face.
And
Yeah,
I don't
that.
know if that influenced my sales or not, but I always put it in there because it was true. And if it was another peanut mom,
Mhm.
they might feel more confident buying from another peanut-free mom. So yeah.
Right. Those are good points. Yeah, that was a big thing back in the day to put smoke-free, pet-free, or
Hmm.
whatever.
I
Um,
loved it when they had templates and you could
mhm.
just click at the top to include this and it would just print it automatically in your listing. I don't think it does that anymore. If it does, I've lost how to do it.
I kind of just make my own. I kind
Hmm.
of just go to an item that's similar. So
Hmm.
it's already in the same category.
Hmm.
The keywords are pretty close. The item specifics are checked and they just keep adding more and more. That's so time consuming. And just go to a listing that's pretty close to what I'm listing. Well, I have 500 now, so it's different
Okay.
if you only have
Yeah.
80, but or you can go back to one that's sold. You're
Yeah.
paid and shipped items and just a lot of it's pre-filled if you do a sell similar from something in the same category. That's a little bit of a shortcut.
Another thing my friend and I used to do is in our listing titles, it would be whatever it is. And then if we had enough space, we would put bonus stickers. And we
Okay.
would just include like these stickers that we'd gotten at the party sale, Party City, whatever, for
Mm-hmm.
25 cents. You know, you got tons of stickers. And so we actually think it did influence our sales positively to include bonus stickers.
That's a good idea. I see those all the time at Goodwill, just
Hmm.
Ziploc bags full of stickers.
Yeah, so
That could be fun.
it's an idea.
Well, can you remember what your best sale of all time was?
I thought about that. No, because I took on a friend. Okay, let me show you my little
Oh, your eBay pin. Okay.
my power seller pen.
A power
Okay, so
seller. That's a blast from the
that's a
past.
blast from the past. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody gave me this because at one time I was a power seller. I
Hmm.
had a friend that was moving. Her husband had died and she wanted to move back by her children in Kentucky. So, in about a month, we unloaded her house and she had crazy stuff. She had clothes from Fredericks of Hollywood.
Oh.
She had stuff from NASA because one of her family members had worked for NASA. Her daughter had twins, and when she was expecting, she had been in the audience of the Oprah Winfrey show. So she got two of everything. And so she got a double stroller, the daughter did. And then my
Hmm.
friend, got, as the mother that went with her, also got the double stroller. It was a show about mothers expecting twins or something.
Oh, okay.
So my friend never really used her double stroller because the daughter always used hers, whatever. So it was new in the box and it was
Hmm.
like a high-end brand. It was like over $600. That's probably the most expensive thing I sold. And because we sold so much stuff, like I think in that 1 month, we sold about $6,000 worth of crazy stuff out of her house. And she didn't want to do it at first. And she had this paper bag full of coffee mugs that she was just going to donate. And I said, can I take this bag of mugs and look through it and see if there's anything we could sell on eBay? And she's like, okay. So I came home and I learned this from you, the Taylor NG mugs.
Hmm.
There was one in there and it sold overnight for $42. And I went back to her and I said, do you remember this mug? I sold it for $42 last night. And she was like, let's get on the eBay. And I said, okay. So even after she moved, stuff that we didn't sell immediately, I brought it into my garage and just kept selling it. And then eventually had a yard sale and donated and whatever. So then the next summer, I took on another friend who was moving to Korea for her husband to take command of a military something and sold a lot of her stuff, Nerf guns. She had a total different life than this older woman. But it was interesting. And I love researching stuff and I love connecting people, like I said, with things. I will say that I had gotten some artwork from, it was like a broker that I was using, a money management company. And so at Christmas, they sent me this artwork, probably didn't cost them anything, but it was nice and it was between cardboard. And so it was, unframed. And so after a few years, I'm like, what am I doing with this? And so I listed it and it sold. And the person that bought it was the niece of that artist.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I'm so honored to return this to your family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just a multi-copied print. It wasn't an original or anything. But I like those kind of connections.
I wish buyers would tell us more why
I do
they.
too. Sometimes I'm like, why did you buy this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious as to what,
Sometimes they just offer that information
yeah.
like
But
I did for buying the foot massager. Just I just wanted her to know how important that was that I found this product
yeah,
at a reasonable price.
huge reduced
And
rate. Yeah.
yes, and how helpful it was going to be. Not everybody's like that. Nobody, everyone wants to share. But when you sell a swimsuit and it goes to Alaska, it's like,
Hmm.
okay, what's happening here? Are you doing aqua fitness inside? Are you going on a
Yeah.
cruise? Are you like, I
A
sold
lot of
one.
Alaskans vacation in Hawaii. There's some connection there
Okay,
because I
well,
have military friends and they've been to Hawaii more than anybody I know. And I'm
okay.
like,
Well, it was in January, and
okay.
January is a big month for swimwear. Just, I
Yeah.
think people get cruises for Christmas,
Yes.
or now with so many baby boomers and Gen Xers retiring, it's just travels all the time. And
Yeah.
if you live in Michigan, where are you going to find a bathing suit locally in
In the winter.
January?
Yeah.
And I have I have returns on mine, not free, but occasionally I'll get one back that it didn't fit, and I
Okay.
get it. I don't expect anybody to buy clothing online and have it always be perfect, because sometimes I return things, it just doesn't work. Well,
Yeah.
no, I really don't. I just resell them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sometimes just
Unless it's
more
Amazon
economical.
Prime with the free returns.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, that didn't work. I just resell it. It's another thing I can sell. No big deal. But
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a
you're,
really nice thrift store sort of industry called the Knoxville Area Rescue Mission. So it's called CARM, and they're all over town. They might be in other parts of East Tennessee as well, but it's a Knoxville based thing. And, anyways, you can get a lot of stuff there that's practically brand new and use it. But one thing I got was a soccer jersey. Knoxville's a big soccer town, and it was for the maybe the women's national team, and it was the sponsor of the team was Herbalife.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So I thought, well, this is interesting. I'm going to buy this and list it. And when I did, somebody from the Herbalife in Los Angeles bought it.
Oh,
So I thought, well, that was interesting. They wanted one back. Why would they
yeah,
want it back? They could
who
have as many as they
knows?
want, right?
Maybe
But
they have casual day there and they can wear anything that has a company name on it.
yeah,
Who knows?
who
I sold
knows?
a Krispy Kreme donuts trucker hat, the mesh
Mhm.
back.
Yeah, yeah.
It was brand new. It's like $1. I sold it for 25. And
Hmm.
we're in Krispy Kreme land here.
Hmm.
It started in Winston-Salem, so it's very
Okay.
big in the Carolinas. And I'm just like, why did this person, are they gonna wear this to work? Do they
Yeah,
just like Krispy Kreme?
yeah.
What's going on? Like, I just am so curious. It's a natural curiosity. Like, what do you do with that?
Yeah, everything's got a story. Like I
Yeah.
want to know what's the story. I'm
Well, and what
curious
killed
too.
me the other day, I had jury duty and I did not get picked. They got enough people. I was there the whole day, got my $25. Um, but thank goodness didn't get picked. But I'm just looking around the room, and one of the attorneys has a LL Bean boat tote with all her notebooks and stuff in it. And I'm just like, oh God. It's like really hard not to go up to her and go, "Hey, I'll give you $10 for that bag," knowing I can sell it for 300.
Oh, I go to people's house and they'll open the cabinet to get a coffee cup and there'll be like 300 Starbucks mugs from all over the world. And I'm like, what are you doing with these mugs? Oh, well, my husband works for Verizon and he travels for his work and he always brings me a mug. And I'm like, do you know that you could probably have about $4,000 easily
Mm-hmm.
with some of those mugs? Just sell them. She's like, no, I keep them. I'm like, okay. But I
Okay.
did go through a period in my life where everywhere I went, I was like, I'm looking at everybody's house and thinking they have no idea how much they could sell that for.
That's the thing. They just don't know. And my
Nobody
books,
realizes
again,
what they're sitting
when
on.
people buy the books, some of them,
Hmm.
they want to know what they might already have. It's like a coffee table book. What do I
Hmm.
already have that's worth money? Because it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
There's so much that could be worth money. And back to the jury duty,
Mm.
they did roll call. There was about 70 people in the room. You had to stand up. They'd call your number, stand up, your name, your occupation, if you're married, your spouse's occupation. And so they were doing it alphabetical. So I'm at the end and I stood up. The room was so serious, said my name, self-employed. I'm in my 23rd year of selling crap on eBay. And everybody got a big laugh out of that. People
Yeah.
that were resellers, they understood. People that weren't resellers came up to me afterwards like, oh, I've got this, my dad has this collection of salt and pepper shakers, and they want me to sell their stuff. I came prepared and used it as a networking opportunity and gave out
Oh,
my
good.
cards and said, well, I have this online school that you can learn how to
Hmm.
sell, or I buy things outright from people. I don't sell them for you.
Right. Hmm.
And I probably gave out 10 cards.
Good for
And,
you.
these are all local people. So
Right.
the day was not a complete waste.
Hmm.
And I think I told you this was coming up and I had to wait and see what happened, but it was only civil cases, no
Oh,
criminal.
okay.
And
Hmm.
they want all their cases wrapped up in a week.
Okay.
So this was President's Day week. So worst case scenario, you'd be there for 4 days, but no, I didn't get picked. So, but it is funny to compare the average person. They just don't know.
Yeah.
We have so much knowledge, and resellers don't realize how much knowledge they have until you start talking to Joe, average person on the street, and they're just fascinated by
Yeah.
what can sell. And so are we as resellers because we're always learning new stuff.
Absolutely.
So do you go mostly to thrift stores to get things to sell?
I look around at my dad's house. I mean, it's like the Antiques Roadshow. I've been to the
Okay.
Antiques Roadshow twice.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and none of my stuff got picked to be on camera, but the stuff that people bring to the Antiques Roadshow is not rare or even that good. That's how
Mm-hmm.
like how unaware people are of their things. But yeah, I'll find stuff like I my dad worked at the computing center for the University of Tennessee. He was an electrical engineering professor. And when he was moving, downsizing, he had all of these t shirts. And I'm like, he would have never worn these t shirts, but they were from, Apple and all these different things. And oh my gosh, did I list things and not know what I was selling? And they sold in a minute. And I'm like, oh, that Apple Picasso logo on the t-shirt, I probably could have gotten $200 for that and I sold it for 25. Buy it now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know. So now
Right.
I'll look at things for a while and I'll try to find a trend or, if one isn't listed, go into past histories if, however you can find it. I had a collection of Wacky Pack,
Oh, the stickers.
the stickers. Well, these were from before they were stickers. They were die cuts out
Mm-hmm.
of cardstock. So they were the
Okay.
size of a baseball card,
The
but they
very
weren't a sticker
early
yet. They were
Wacky
older.
Pack.
And
Yeah.
so here I am. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. It was Super Bowl weekend, and I just listed them, auction with $50. Buy it now. Oh boy, did that sell for $50. Buy it now. Because then I found out that one of those cards would have sold for more than $50.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Ugh, okay." So now I'm
Well,
very cautious and I look and I try to figure out like, what do I really have here before I just list it and sell it for nothing.
so you're getting inventory just from people you know.
Yeah, I do go to the resale stores. I sell a lot of Lily Pulitzer because I'm a fan.
Uh-huh.
And so if I have it, I might wear it for a while. And then sometimes I feel like I have to rescue it. Like if I find a pair of pants, we'll be on vacation and we'll go into a Goodwill or something and I'll find a pair of Lily pants and I'm like, for $7, I have to rescue these. And so I'll rescue it and then I may never wear it, but I can sell it.
Mm-hmm. Have you found the Holy Grail maxi dress? ever?
I had
Yeah.
the Coleman maxi dress
Uh-huh.
and I had it for years. And then I got hit by a rock on the windshield of my car and I decided I am never really going to wear this dress. It's, first of all, I would have had to have it hemmed. And
Uh-huh.
then that just ruins it. You can't do that. So I did a really good overview of it, checked every thread for pulls, and it was used, but it was in excellent condition. And I didn't sell it on eBay. I sold it on a Facebook Lily Pulitzer Holy Grail group. But I said, this is my let it go price. And within an hour, it was sold.
So that dress paid for your car
Oh,
repair.
easily. Yeah.
That's what we do is we have these things in our back pocket. And so if you haven't
Yeah,
had a
I've been holding
sale,
on to it. I mean, I knew that it would sell high. And really, there's a lot of things I've listed. Like I had an astronaut Barbie that I bought at Toys R Us, more than 10 years ago. And when something happened, oh, the Barbie movie. Okay. So
mhm.
after the Barbie movie, I'm like, I don't have girls. It's still new in the box. I'm going to list it. And I think historically, I have the highest selling price for the astronaut Barbie.
And how much did you sell it for?
I think it was like $86, something like that.
Yeah, that's an overwhelming category for
Yeah.
me because some of them are worth money and some of them are, there's 2 million of them out there and
Yeah.
they're not worth anything.
Yeah. I cleaned up an American Girl doll that I found at the thrift store and did an auction and it did well. It didn't go for new, but I did a lot of research on it. And it's like if they had a mark behind their ear and like all this other stuff. And so I took pictures of all the things that I'd read about that designated it as one of the original produced. It said the Pleasant Company. It didn't
Hmm.
say Mattel or whatever. So, and it did sell on auction pretty high. So I was happy with that.
So are you retired, eBay part-time? What does your life look like?
I take care of my dad.
Okay, caregiver. Okay.
Not full time, but enough that I really can't have a regular job.
Right. There's so many levels of caregiving, just
Yeah.
making yourself available so if you're needed, you can go. And
Yeah.
eBay fits into that very well.
There's so much nonsense at his house and nobody needs it. I mean, but also some of it I don't feel like I can sell because I'm so sentimental. Like I have letters from the Civil War. Like it's just crazy the stuff that we have. And
Oh, in
I'm not,
Tennessee, yeah, you're going to
yeah.
have all kinds of stuff like that around.
Yeah, I came across a letter. It's from 1862. These two guys wrote to my father's great grandfather asking him if he knew anybody. He must have been a go-to guy, because they wanted to get out of the Confederate Army.
Hmm. Oh,
And they're
well,
like,
I
"Do you
mean,
know anybody? We're
yeah.
willing to pay $1,000 to get out of our army service."
Oh, that's a lot of money back then.
It was a lot of money. And they had gotten taken. They paid it, and then the person took the money and ran. So they
Mm.
were like, we really need somebody that will do it in installments so we don't get taken. So I've wanted to look up these two that wrote the letter and find out, did they get mustered out? Did they at some point leave service? How did they
Okay,
get out?
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And even if you can find pictures of them, I've sold a couple of things. One was a batch of letters from maybe the 40s or
Mhm.
30s. The lady kept getting put in the hospital for her goiter, and she would get all these letters from people. And I looked her up and I found her gravestone. There's a site called Find a Grave.
Yeah.
Okay, you know about that. And then that led to a picture of her. So I like to include stuff like that to make it real. This was a
Yeah.
real person who walked the earth and had a life. And that's what the historians like is
Hmm.
stories of it. And then I found a couple months ago, I was going through a box of stuff I bought at an estate sale, and there was just leftover stuff in there. And I was like, I need to tackle this box. I've had it sitting here for 6 months. And there was a letter from, it was after the Civil War. It was maybe 1860s.
Mm-hmm.
but this was a person in seminary school near Washington, D.C., and he was talking all about what was going on with the law. And that letter sold in minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I priced it too low. I think people just have alerts set up for when
Yes.
these things are listed, they can just get them. And it was beautiful, almost calligraphy
Mm-hmm.
handwriting. And I read it 3 or 4 times just to get all the information so I could put it in the listing. But yeah, where you are in Tennessee, my sister just moved to Murfreesboro from
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta to be closer to her grandchildren. And she was talking about like all the Civil War stuff there in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So you just never know. And I think Tina DeVore lives in Tennessee and she's been selling
Yeah.
some Civil War stuff too. So you just never know where it's going to pop up. Like you said, it's in your dad's stuff.
Yes. Yeah. It's just like in a box. I mean, this is like, yeah, it's crazy. There's so much stuff. When he downsized the first time, there was so much stuff, it was overwhelming, like Hoover vacuum cleaners from the 50s with all the
Mm-hmm.
attachments,
Oh
right?
gosh, yeah.
I didn't have the bandwidth to do anything with this. So there's
Mm-hmm.
a antique store and I had met the owner and, been friendly with her in and out of the store. And so I went to her and I said, I want to give you some stuff. She was like, okay, what have you got? And so I showed it to her and she's like, yeah, I'll take it. And so then as time went on and we were really having to get rid of things fast because my dad's house sold faster than we thought, her husband came over and brought a van and took, like, I had trunks that were like you would take on the Titanic, like big leather
Uh-huh.
trunks. They were just full of crazy stuff. And I looked through everything. So I wasn't giving away anything that I felt was confidential or anything. But I mean, literally, I have my grandfather's tax return from 1940. I have crazy amount of stuff. They took it, and then we came back at Christmas and we're visiting with her, and she took my older son aside and she goes, the stuff that your mom donated to us kept our store open for another year. And we couldn't have stayed open if we didn't get all that stuff from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I feel so good that I helped and it went to the right people. It wasn't just, and it was just, I couldn't deal with it. A lot of stuff went to Carm, but a lot of stuff went to her. If I felt like
Mm-hmm.
it was antique worthy. And now she's retired and closed her store, but for the time it was a great opportunity to get rid of things to a place that I felt it was going to be positive for her and the people that wanted it.
Mm-hmm. Well, have you looked up the power seller pin? That's kind of a relic.
I have had it listed at times. I don't have it currently listed. I probably should. I'm not a power seller and I don't
Well,
intend
they
to be
don't
one.
have it anymore. It's
Oh,
changed.
I'm sure.
That's an
Yeah.
old title. So I've sold eBay mugs and
Mm-hmm.
things I found at thrift stores
Mm-hmm.
just for the nostalgia of that because the logo's changed many times. And
Yeah.
what is there? It was 96 that eBay was founded, right? Anyway, eBay's 30 years old.
Yeah.
So there's going to be things I found like journals. These must have been swag stuff from eBay conventions or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
gatherings or whatever. So people love it. And I've received gifts from people like, here's an eBay mug and here's this and that. And so, yeah, keep an eye
Yeah.
on that power seller pin because as we go into the future, that's definitely going to be a relic of early eBay days. Now everything is top rated, all of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So power sellers just, I don't even know what the qualifications were to be one, but
I think you had to sell 100 things. You had to have returns and you had to have, of course, 100% or whatever the
the feedback,
feedback.
right?
Yeah, or you had to sell $1,000 worth of stuff. So that summer that I sold the crazy stuff for my friend that was moving, that pushed me into power seller
Okay.
category.
Uh-huh.
Because normally I don't sell enough to, make a difference. But I
But
enjoy what I'm doing.
you
And
are a veteran. You've
yeah,
been out there a long time, and
I would love to teach people how to do it, but people don't want to take the time to learn it. I've offered like different women's clubs that I've been in, and they have a fundraiser and they'll say, we need to raise money for this. And I'll go, well, okay, what have you got? I'll sell it on eBay and the money can go to the club.
Mhm.
And somebody's husband had a Star Trek chess set from like the Danbury Mint or one of those, you know, collectible
Mhm.
things. It did sell. I think it got $250. So,
Great.
and the club needed the money. So it was
I
okay.
did that for my kids' middle school PTA.
Yeah.
They had all the wrapping paper and the cookie
Hmm.
dough and all the fundraisers where you had to go knock on doors, and
Hmm.
I just I hate begging for money, and I don't want my kids doing it. So I
Yeah.
came up with the plan of I made a list
Hmm.
of what things to look for in homes, and people could just bring them to the school. We had a box in the front office, just and I'd go once a week and pick everything up, and I made $700 for them in the first month.
That's
And I
fantastic.
didn't even have everything listed.
Yeah.
But then you know how PTA can be, the moms who were in charge of the wrapping paper and the cookie dough, that was their thing every year, and they were very threatened by
That's
their favorite fundraiser to go
mhm.
away. And
Right.
so they shut it down. We're not going to do this anymore. I was
Yeah,
like,
I never
well,
got traction at the kids' schools
there
offering to
just
do
weren't
that.
enough. And this was probably in 2006, 2008, something
Hmm.
like that, where eBay wasn't really a household word.
Hmm.
Now people would get it. They'd be all over it. And a lot
Yeah.
of the parents were, because they didn't have to go do these dumb fundraisers.
Yeah,
They
they
could
think it's
just
so easy
find
too.
stuff around. And I would even go to people's houses and look
Hmm.
around and, say, what about this? And what about that? And, they were thrilled to not have to do that fundraising stuff. But,
Yeah.
once again, we're ahead of the curve, and we see possibilities and opportunities where other people don't. And that's why we are in this business, is because we're good at it.
Yeah.
Well, we have made it to the end here. Do you have any last words from your many years of selling on eBay and your veteran status?
I would just say do it as long as you enjoy it. Take a break every now and then. Perfect your shipping. Be efficient with your shipping. Don't send something in a huge box when you can make a box to fit. I think shipping is a big expense, which is how you noticed me recently. Was I was advising someone about the shipping, and
Right,
I really try to do as low cost on shipping for the buyer as I can. So,
right. It is
and be
competitive.
honest about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is competitive.
Um,
So, well, thank you for taking the time to come on today. And do you have any big plans for the afternoon?
well, I got a call from one of my kids while we were taping, so I'm going to call him back.
Okay,
See
great. Yeah,
what's up.
hopefully it's not an emergency. That's what
No,
I
I'm
always
sure it's not.
think when they call. It's like they never call. They always text. Why are they calling? What's wrong? What's happened? But it's usually nothing. So, well,
Exactly.
thanks again for coming
Thank you.
on, and we will watch for your words of wisdom on the group.
All right. Well, thanks so much. It's been a
Thanks.
joy to be included in your world of eBay and selling the
Great.
right way.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, I do have a correction. I apparently had a senior moment. eBay was founded on September 3rd, 1995. I had said it was 1996, so I was a little off there. So I always like to correct my mistakes. Next week, my guest is Tina, who is a repeat guest. You may remember her as the catalog and Hot Wheels lady. I often use her phrase, boredom buster. She says when she needs a break from working on listing items from her outbuilding that came with her purchased property a few years ago, she goes to Goodwill to look around, and that is a boredom buster. So she will be here to regale us with more reselling tales and catch us up on what she's been doing. Make sure you tune in for that episode. Thanks so much for listening, and make it a great week. Bye, everybody.